Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, Sweet Bay. More information about Sweet Bay online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
This is Coach's Corner.
From Commodore fans to Coach's Corner, a production of Gulf Coast State College and a digital media program here. I want to thank Sweet Bay for underwriting Coach's Corner. So today, Coach Phil Gaffney and I will talk about 3 games we played last week, 3 games coming up. Commodores right now, 9-1 overall, ranked number 4 in the state coaches poll, and before the new NJCAA poll comes out, ranked number 6th. So that poll will change sometime today, and we'll see where everybody's at after that. So Coach went 2-1 last week, and started out playing LB Wallace up at their place, a 109-64 win.
Yeah, coming back from Thanksgiving, you're always worried how you're going to play and are you going to be aggressive and are you rusty? And we were a little rusty about the first 5 or 6 minutes. It was a tie game, and then we outscored them by about 45 the rest of the way. So good win, good way to get back into it and get better. Unfortunately, we lost Trayvon Mayo, starting 3-man. He's our defensive stopper, and unfortunately he got hurt in that game, and we didn't have him the next 2 games, and we really could have used him that's for sure. But good overall victory, getting back to our tempo and getting up over 100 points and getting a lot of guys double-digit scores was good for us. A good game to get back, get the rust off. So
Godwin with a double-double tonight, 20 points, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, he was tremendous. I think he had 10 assists. He was absolutely unbelievable, passing the ball, getting into the lane, doing all kinds of things. He was really amazing, and we've been waiting for that because he's a really, really good player, and he really hasn't played up to where he was in the preseason. In preseason, he was dominant, so we're waiting for that dominant guy to come out, and definitely showed it in that game.
And so Holden followed with 18 points.
Yeah, and he's been the whole year. He's been our leading scorer, and he's been our rock, and just played outstanding.
So and then Owens with 17 points.
Yeah, just to get all those guys at double digits, everybody kind of getting in the party, getting everybody in the game, everybody playing a lot of minutes, getting the rust off on Thanksgiving. Great game to get back into the swing of things.
So 6 players in double figures that night. So,
unbelievable.
So good there. Only 9 turnovers the game. That's pretty good numbers.
They didn't pressure us. They kind of sat back a little bit. So, but it was good to take care of the ball because you're always worried. We take 4 days off for Thanksgiving, and when you take those 4 days off, you really never know how they're going to come back.
So 71.4% from the free throw line, 30.8% from the three-point line, 57.8% from the floor shooting.
Yeah, great job from 2. That's just outrageous. And the free throw is where we need to be, is above 70. Unfortunately, in the next couple games, we couldn't sniff 70 if we wanted to, and but that's where we want to be, is right around that 70% mark.
So scored 49 points first half, 60 the second half to pick up a win after Thanksgiving. Then we went up and played in the Chipola Classic, played Polk State, lost 73-67 in a game to a very good Polk State.
Yeah, we felt terrible about it. We went 9-19 from the free throw line, just missed a lot of free throws down the stretch. I think we were up 7 or 8 with about 5 or 6 to go, and had the ball. We're getting ready to go in for a dunk, and we turned the ball over, and I thought we were getting ready on the verge of getting ready to blow them out and get this thing from 6-8 to 10, 12, 14, 16. And we just turned them over. They went down the other end, got an and-1, and instead of being up 10, now you're up 5, and just didn't play well down the stretch. Controversial call at the end with a minute to go, or we get a putback and we think we're up 2 with a minute to go, and we just got to play D once or twice, and we're going to win this thing. And refs missed the call, and then they got together and they said, no, the ball did hit the rim, but unfortunately we're not going to give you your layup to put you ahead. You're going to take the ball out of bounds, and then we don't convert, and then they convert, and then we miss, and then we have to foul. So really was a game where we were controlling the game down the stretch, and then the last minute Fortunately, we just couldn't make, and we had to foul at the end, and they hit their free throws. So I give them credit. They're 10-2. Polk State's very, very good basketball team. They went and beat Chipola the next night. So they're an excellent basketball team. But there's just no way we should have lost that game. We were better, and not having Mayo, our defensive stopper, hurt. They had a couple guys that really, really got us pretty good and got out of our rotation. So we just told our guys, no excuses. You can't shoot 9 of 19. You got to make your shots. These are free throws. Nobody's guarding you. Trayvon didn't play. Well, that gave opportunities for other guys. Everybody wants to be a starter. Well, we gave other guys opportunities in those minutes, and then ref makes a tough call. Well, refs are going to always make tough calls. You can't blame it on the refs. That's on you. You got to overcome. And quite simply, we did not overcome, and we didn't deserve to win, and then Polk got us.
So, well, in this case, now, question about the controversial call. If they saw you score the basket and admitted that it hit the rim, you would ask yourself, why didn't they give us the points? Because if they missed the call, if they hadn't missed the call, the points would have been good. So did they take and reset the clock and move the ball back and give it back to you and let you play that possession again?
That's what they did. That's what they did. It's just unfortunate because the outside official called it. The outside on the ball side, there was a guy standing right there, and everybody saw it. And he was just, everybody makes mistakes. I make more mistakes than anybody, so you can't blame officials. And obviously, when you shoot 9 of 19 from the free throw line, and a lot of those were down the stretch, we made the mistakes. We need to be accountable for what we did. You hate to see a game like that with a minute to go because obviously it had a huge impact on the game. I would have put the pressure on them to come down and score just to tie it, and we defend, get it. Now we're getting the ball back with 30 seconds, and we got the ball. Now they're going to foul us, or at least we'll hold for the last shot. But it just didn't happen that way. And live and learn, and we're going to get better at free throw shooting. I can tell you that, James.
So, well, in this case, you can look at it. And the statistics are always in the favor. In a very close game, the team that shoots best from the free throw lines usually wins.
Yes.
And in this case, that proved out to be the case there. In free throw shooting, it's different. If you stand there and shoot, you're never going to be totally fresh when you shoot free throws in a game. And I used to tell my guys, shooting free throws in the third and fourth quarters are the hardest times to shoot them because now you're tired.
Exactly.
And so in that case, but there's no defensive players. Nothing moves. The goal doesn't move. You don't move. Everything. So free throw shooters. So it'll be interesting to see the Commodores improve in that area because that will be an area that they'll have to improve in to make a run.
No question. You want to shoot about 70. We shot in the 40s, and then the next night we came back and shot 50. So just an atrocious job from the free throw line. Both those games should have been games that were well in hand, and we won fairly good and fairly handily, and we just didn't. And, we didn't shoot the ball well from three, and we didn't shoot the ball well from free throw line. So
you were 6 of 24 for 25% from the three-point line and 31.7% from the floor. Now you got to give Polk State credit for that.
I definitely give Polk State credit for that. They did a nice job, but we just had one of those nights where literally, if you think about it, we shot 25% from three, 47% from the free throw, 30% from the field, and we were winning, with a minute to go. So you got to say to yourself, gosh, we did other things really well. We just had a bad shooting night, and when you're not having a good shooting night, boy, you better rebound, you better defend. And we didn't maybe do those as well as we needed to overcome just a horrific shooting night.
Yeah, because you only had 3 players in double figures for the night. Where the game before that, 6 players scored in there. Owens led all scoring for the Commodores with 20.
He did, but he shot poorly too. He just took more shots. There's nobody who shot the ball well. It was a game of just terrible shooting, and you have those games. Those days are going to happen when you don't shoot the ball well. Well, you better rebound and defend well enough to overcome those, and we didn't.
So that's how that one turned out. Like you said, they went on and beat Chipola on their floor, 73-69.
They're 10-2. That's a excellent basketball team. I just felt terrible that we kind of let that one slip out of our hands.
So, and then we played South Georgia Tech. Sometimes it's always interesting to see how your team is going to bounce back from a loss, especially a first loss. and things were going. And they won 82-77.
Yeah, but we didn't really bounce back well, Jay. If we're going to be honest with you, just the opposite.
Yep.
After our first loss, knowing how poorly we shot, we came out and shot worse to start the game. We were down 22-4, which is absolutely awful. But the good part about that is we really, really outscored them, the rest of the way pretty badly to get the 5-point win. So we were down 18, so we outscored them by 23 the rest of the way. But man, it was and when you're down 22-4, you just suffered your first defeat the day before. That's a great time for guys to point fingers, to argue, to just lay down and quit and say there's no way. We down 22-4. We fought all the way back, got it down to 6 at the half, kept up our attitudes, kept up our effort, just kept trying hard, and then that got us the victory in the end of the game.
And so because at halftime it was 38-44, and then in the second half y'all outscored them 44-33.
Yeah, it was a great second half, but that bad first half. But the resiliency, the grit, the toughness. Sometimes you need to get down 18 points to see, will you fight back? And our style of play is very conducive to coming back from big deficits. So being down 18 was not I've done it many times in my career, so it was. I knew we could do it. I just got to make sure our guys knew they could do it.
So in this case, 2 players, Holden and Gordon, double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds apiece.
They were both tremendous and great job of getting inside and getting easy baskets. And a lot of it was just hustle and effort because we still didn't have a great shooting night again, but the effort was definitely there. It was there both nights, but the effort carried us through on the second day.
Because you turned the ball over 22 times, probably a lot of those early in the first half.
Probably about out of the first 12 possessions, I believe 10 of them were we just handed over to the other team. So yeah, pretty terrible the first 5 minutes of the game.
So 16 of 32 for 50% from the free throw line. Better than the night before, still got some work to do. 4 of 17 from the three-point line, 23.5%. 31 of 64 from the floor for 48.4%.
Yeah, so we're shooting great from 2, absolutely horrific from the 3, and absolutely horrific from the free throw line. So the fact that we even won the game shooting that poorly again, we're fortunate to do that because obviously if we'd shot just a little bit better, now you win by 15, 20 points. So that's something we got to work on.
So we look at that now. Commodores at home tomorrow night, 7:30 against Florida Coastal Prep.
Florida Coastal Prep, the first time we played them, they didn't have a couple of guys. They've added guys since then. So I think we won by probably 50 the first time. I don't think it'll be a 40 or 50-point victory tomorrow. I think it's going to be a much tougher game for sure. And then we go into the Florida shootout this weekend.
And then you play Miami-Dade, ranked 8th in the state coaches poll. And then you have Indian River on Sunday in that Florida shootout.
Yes, the Miami-Dade's great. They got double-digit wins already this year. They just beat Eastern Florida. So they're playing at a very high level. And Indian River has been a little up and a little bit down. They beat Chipola a couple weeks ago. So they're actually very, very good. So it's good. We're going to have our work cut out. Those are tough matchups for us. Miami-Dade plays very similar to us. They're very much a pressing and running team. So it's going to be interesting to see, that score of the Miami-Dade game. And Coach Ledoux's great coach. So it's going to be fun to watch that one.
So for Coach Phil Gaffney, I'm James Baxley. We'll be right back in a few minutes to bring you Coach Rooney Scovel and how the Lady Commodores did on the Commodore Sports Network.
Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, Sweet Bay. More information about Sweet Bay online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
Welcome back, Commodore fans. Coach Rooney Scovel and I will talk about the Lady Commodores and how they did last week, and a little break the Lady Commodores have and what they'll do and play before Panhandle Conference play starts. So Lady Commodores still perfect, 10-0, ranked number 1 in state coaches poll, ranked number 1 in the NJCA national poll. So a great start to the season, Coach.
Yeah, we've had a tremendous first semester of basketball, and looking forward to this Christmas break here and finish finals. Hopefully, do well, make some good grades, have some good GPAs, and go home and take a break from it and get back and have 3 tough games, and then start the real fight, the big fight with Panhandle play.
So played LB Wallace last week, 176-36, won all 4 quarters, pretty easy.
Yeah, we played well. Everybody got significant minutes, great team win, and shot the ball well, executed real well. That was probably one of the games where we just kind of did everything, paid attention to the little details, and everybody did a good job of executing offensively and played real well on defense. So, walked away with a victory and no injury, so it's always a great win when those 2 things happen.
So in this case, held your opponent to 36 points.
Yeah, that was I was just thinking about this past week of defense, and I think it's in the 40s, and we scored about 80, close to 80 a game, and held people in the 40s. So that's a great week of defense, 5 games in 9 days. So I was real proud of the way we played defense this week.
So when the Lady Commodores play defense, they can play it.
Yeah, well, defense, creates a lot of transition, and we're pretty good in transition. We like the up tempo, and sometimes we get a little complacent and decide we want to react and not prevent and not play great defense and not show up, and it kind of sticks its ugly head out sometimes. But for the most part, these last 5 games, it was pretty special.
So Jones with a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds.
Yeah, she had a great night, and Tot is starting to do that for us almost every game now. She's staying out of foul trouble. We're managing that a little bit better, and getting her out if we feel like it might be a problem. So she's not didn't foul out this whole week, and so she had a great week. Tot's just kind of coming into her own now.
Yeah, because in that post she just works so hard.
She's tough. She's definitely a beast on the block. I wouldn't want to have to go in there and try to bang against her very often, not even one time more or less for a whole game. So yeah, Tot is really tremendous inside presence, and she's undersized. And if she was 6'2", boy, we'd really be talking about something. But she gets a lot done even at her size.
Farsi with 11 points from your point guard.
Yeah, she's really starting to play well. We worked she stayed here 6 weeks in the summer, worked on her shot. It needed a lot of improvement, a lot of technique work, and she worked extremely hard. So we were real excited when she left. And then we came back, and it was a little bit slow to come back. And now for the last 5 games, she's really become an offensive threat, really getting to the hole and creating things. We kind of go as she goes, and she's starting to feel more confident, and I think it shows in our team wins and scoring almost 80 a game. She definitely has got our team, is running our team really well right now.
And so 8 attempts from the free throw line, 80%.
She's a tremendous free throw shooter. If you had to pick somebody, at that final moment to get fouled, and that's a good thing when you get in, when teams have to foul you, and they, you want the ball in the point guard's hands. And she's a tremendous free throw shooter, so I feel very confident at Leah at the line. So
she does a great job. And Begay, 13 points off the bench.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Her and Lebu, who we call Njai, that we call Lebu, they have improved tremendously, probably the most. Like one day we'll say Lebu improved the most, and the next day we'll Fatu. So we definitely say those 2 have improved the most from beginning until now. So if they continue to work on their skill and their game, they have really provided. They're probably the ones that have provided that tremendous defense when they sub in, and they're just Fatu especially. It might be our best defensive player.
So and then we had several games here this past weekend.
Yeah.
Played 4 on Friday and 4 on Saturday. A lot of good basketball. Lady Commodores on the nightcap game for Friday played Palm Beach State, won 84-38, won all 4 quarters pretty easily.
Yeah, we started out a little bit slow. It was a 3-5 point game early in the first quarter, and then we finally decided to play a little defense and not stand around. And once we got the tempo on defense going and showing up and trapping and getting aggressive, then it worked out for us on the transition. And so yeah, we kind of by the end of the quarter, it was quite a bit of separation.
Yeah, because in that game, Lady Commodores turned it over 9 times. They turned it over 25.
Yeah, our defense was pretty special, and we were so aggressive and so assertive. And when we do that, we're hard to beat. We just haven't been consistent for 4 quarters defensively. Right. So we've got to continue to get better at that. But that particular game was, a tremendous effort with our team defense.
So, and if you look at it, Smith with 19, and she scores those just so easily.
Yeah, and in that game, strangely enough, you can walk away and she'll have 20-something points and say, she didn't really shoot the ball all that well. And so that night, she wasn't hitting as well, but she still walks away with double figures most of the time. And she's just tough. She's just a tremendous player and can do so many things, and definitely helps us. And it's nice to have that.
And so she does that. If you look, Jones, another double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, still rebounding like crazy.
Yeah, that's real crucial. We talked about that early on with Tot. We said she's starting to come into her own, and who's going to be when you're trying to build a house, you got to have plumbing and electricity, but they don't always you don't see it, and you don't feel it, but it's definitely necessary to have a nice house. So Tot has become probably the plumber and the electrician on the boards, and now she's starting to score too. So very thankful for that.
And you got Bondu that scored 13, and she's doing a nice job from the perimeter.
Yeah, Naomi is. She's such a perimeter threat from the 3, and then she's really trying to work on her defense. She's got length, and her defense has really improved from last year to this year, and taking charges. She's probably leading us with taking charges. So Naomi's game, she's playing with more confidence, being more of a leader for us. So, we keep naming different people. That's the making of a really good team, when you name different people with different roles, and they're starting to learn their roles. I think that's what makes them so fun to watch, is we're starting to learn our role.
So Barcy, your point guard with 10 points again. So a good night.
Yep.
So anytime your point guard can make your team run, but can score double figures, that's kind of a bonus.
Well, it certainly helps, because the last few years we've had teams, especially at the national tournament, back off of us and double team the post and leave our point guard open because we didn't have that ability to score. And so if she can give us that pull-up jumper and a long-range ball every now and then it sure does help with the post game.
And she does a nice job. She sees the floor. She can split the defense, get to the rim. She sees those gaps, and it's like, wow.
Tremendous ball handler in traffic. Yeah, tremendous ball handler in traffic.
So, and then we played Daytona State, ranked 7th in the state coaches poll. Was a good battle, 87-56. Still won all 4 quarters against a very good Daytona State team.
Yeah, they're very athletic. I was worried about that game because they'd already knocked off 2 Panhandle teams. They had beaten Tallahassee and they had beaten Chipola, close game. But I knew that they came up here to have strike 3 on the Panhandle, and we talked about that quite a bit, and they are very athletic. I would venture to say that they'll probably compete to win the mid. They're very, very good, and for us to win by that margin of victory was a special game for us because they're very talented.
So now here's a night where Smith does shine, 36 points.
She got started early, and she had 28 at the half, and then in the second half, she really, we had that separation, so she dished it off a little more, and we were trying to look for some other things and get Leah some more shots and Savannah that we're going to need down the stretch as we move into Panhandle play. So, yeah, she was hot from the get-go. There wasn't much, they couldn't stop. There was no answer for her in that particular game.
And so, you got Jones with 10 and Farsi with 11, still keeping their consistent numbers there.
Yeah.
And Sis with 10 points. And like you said, she's working better and better, getting better and better in the post every day.
Absolutely.
Loves to use that glass.
Well, she didn't. That's been something that she's been talked to a lot about using that glass, all of them. For some reason, we spend a lot of money on backboards and nobody wants to use them. But she really has worked on it, and it paid off in that game because the shots she got, they probably wouldn't have gone in if she didn't use the glass because they were tough shots. But she's becoming a better rebounder, a better ball handler, getting stronger, and that was a problem early on. So she has definitely given us some great minutes in the post.
So she's doing that. 17 of 20 from the free throw line, 85%.
Yeah.
That's,
for us, excellent.
That's great free throw shooting. For Coach Scovel, back in the day, that probably wouldn't have been acceptable.
Well, we might need 90%.
So
85 is pretty good for a team.
So for a team, 8 of 24 from the three-point line, 33.3%. 31 of 68 from the floor, 65.6%. Not bad for shooting.
Not bad. Our three, like with Layla was our 3-point, her percentage was outstanding, and so that's probably going to go down a little bit with Layla out. But we've got to work on our long ball. We need that up around. If you can get the 3-point percentage up around 40%, then that's really good. So that's a little off there. We've got to work on that. We've got to get some shots up and some reps, and hopefully our 3-point shooting will get better.
I think we have some highlights from that game. And
Perfect.
if we do, we'll roll them and look at the Lady Commodores. There's Smith with the long ball.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then Smith getting to the rim.
Hit the rim, yeah. The next one will probably be a pull-up jumper. And
Oh, so in other words, I think there's several players get some highlights in here. In this area.
There's the pull-up.
So
there's that triple threat. Hard to stop.
and then,
Nice rebound.
So
LeBou.
puts it back and
That's a nice rebound by Naomi.
yep.
That's been something she's had to work on on that block. That mid-range jumper is something she worked on from last year. So it's nice to see people get better.
Right.
To take a skill that may be a weakness in 1 month or 1 year and get better at it. Yeah, Alana was just, they tried some different defenses on her, but there wasn't much going to stop her that particular game.
So in that case, you can see it doesn't matter where at on the floor.
No,
She can score.
that's the shot that Leah worked on all summer, committing to stay here for 6 weeks, and then she's outstanding at going to the rim. Always been good at that, but this is crucial. You just saw her, the triple threat, to the glass, the mid-range, and then the three. I mean, if she can start doing that more consistently, that's going to make things real tough for opponents.
And she's so quick, Smith is. As you
Yeah,
saw
she's
there.
real smooth. Yeah.
Marcy again getting to the rim.
Yeah, that was nice. Caitlin getting in there and getting a long ball. That was nice.
That was good.
That was a great move right
there to create that separation, because that was a big.
That's a big girl.
In other words, to create that
big girl.
separation, that was a tremendous move.
Tremendous move.
And so we got to quickly, in what time we have left, Lady Commodores now are off until the 29th, 30th, and 31st of December. So we got a little break here.
Yeah, we do. It'll be good to get away. It's tough conditioning-wise, but we have those 3 games, and those will be tough. Cape Fear is a great team on the D2 level, and then, of course, Shelton State is always at the national tournament smiling at you, and then Eastern Florida has a tremendous team. So those 3 games will, if that doesn't get us ready for Panhandle play, then nothing will.
So Shelton right now ranked 5th in the country. Like you said, always making a national tournament appearance. Eastern Florida State came up and won 2 this past weekend.
Nice team.
And
nice
so those 2 games, or those 3 games on the road, and then January 4th, Saturday, at the arena at Northwest Florida.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough, but it's exciting. It's time. It's let's go do it. Either pack up uniforms for next season, or let's pack them up to try to go back to Northwest in March. That's all. It's kind of exciting. It's all new, and hopefully, we're trying to be one of those 2 teams that gets the postseason play, and we've worked real hard. Now we just got to go put it in action starting January 4th.
So for Coach Rooney Scovel, I'm James Baxley. Thanks for watching, Commodore fans, and we'll see you next time on the Commodore Sports Network.
This has been Coach's Corner with your host, James Baxley.